So, a commie California city is set to become the first in the nation to embark on an experiment of universal basic income, paying 100 residents $500 a month without any conditions. This is one of those things that sounds great on paper to no one who's ever really thought about it, and to people who are stupid, but is pretty clearly dumb otherwise. Life isn't fair. Any attempts to try to make it so are probably going to result in further failures. I don't see what this really is going to accomplish. So, I mean, if they paid me $500 a month, I mean, I'll take it. Of course, I ain't gonna say no to free money. But I'm probably just gonna use it to pay off something. I mean, okay, so you're taking public money and giving it back to big private corporations. Mission accomplished. But $500 isn't $500 if everybody has $500. Like millionaires and billionaires are special because they're that rich, but if everyone's one of them, it's not so special anymore. We have more money and we're worth more than any other place ever in history, and the money still doesn't mean as much as it would elsewhere. A couple $100 a month here isn't much, but a couple $100 a month elsewhere is more than enough, in a third world country to help you live for the whole month. All this is going to do is raise inflation. It's not going to help normal people do other things. Um, take this channel for instance. I mean, people who aren't doing it, they have their various excuses. But I do, but I have my own excuses too for why I don't do it sometimes. And the person who does it every day and puts the most effort into it is going to be more successful than the person who doesn't treat it as a priority. And I have all the time in the world sometimes, but I still waste it doing dumb shit instead of doing the stuff I should be doing. And that's all that's going to happen here. And $500 in California, that means nothing. That's nothing, man. Can you even get food off that over there? Especially if you're going to be giving this out to poor people. Poor people don't know how to manage their money. It's why they're freaking poor in the first place. You look at lottery winners and pro athletes, they get 10 times what they're worth, or like 100 times more than they've ever had when they get these various, when they win the lottery or they get contracts, and then most of them end up broke anyway because they don't know what they're doing. They're not responsible enough to handle that money. One good story I can think of personally is that I know some friends who in third world countries they went to like the Middle East to work or whatever, and they were suddenly getting 10 times what they'd normally get. So you would think, man, these people are going to be living it up and doing pretty good, right? No, that's not what happened. Because they were poor money managers at home, that didn't change just because they made more money. And a lot of them ended up having to go work again because they now wasted all that extra money and ended up broke. A few actually saved it up and invested it, but that's how it's going to work, with this too. A few will use it for something good and make the most out of it, but the majority of people aren't because the majority of people were just not that bright. It's something like the 90% of everything produce 10% for the rest of everything else. So, I mean, you got to keep that in mind. The most capable people, you know, don't even need this and are going to do better with it than the people who aren't capable and are just going to end up wasting this on ding dongs and ho hos. It's already failed in multiple countries, and even back in ancient Rome, believe it or not, it failed. They gave everyone a bunch of free shit, whoever wanted it, and they had no way of tracking the various people, so all kinds of people who shouldn't have been getting it got it, and then the country ended up going broke and bankrupt, and Rome ain't no more. This won't work. It's just going to raise taxes if ever applied, and it's real stupid stuff. And I don't trust teenagers to do my banking. I trust the smarter people, the bankers and stuff. And you know, great idea on paper, but in reality, not so.